So happy Homebrew Wednesday, everybody. Back on the scene after a slight absence. I did a couple of brews where I didn't video any of them. Last one before this one I did for the first time I did 10 gallons of Harry's English Bitter, and which is right here actually, just having a little bit of the old bitter, English Bitter. Low carbonation on this. I put it in the kegs, probably like 9 or 10 psi. But I did 10 gallons of this, so I didn't have, it was a little while where I didn't have anything to say because I've already brewed and I didn't video anything. Cheers on this one. This is like one of my probably top 3 favorite beers I've ever brewed. And I think the difference is it's the amber malt, and this is just lovely. Great lacing on that, but it's like 3.5, 3.7 ABV. Really nice. But I don't know if you've ever brewed with amber malt before, but you should try it in like a pale ale. It's just really, really delicious. What's going on now is, well, I just, I was sitting here last weekend, I think, and I was trying to figure out what to brew next. Have you ever had that? That moment where you're going like, oh, Lee, I've brewed all these different beers. What do I do next? I mean, seriously, I've brewed stouts. I've brewed brown ales, red ales, amber ales. I've done, English bitters, American pale ales. I've done IPAs, wheat beer. I even did a wheat beer that was a Dunkelweizen. And that was absolutely beautiful. That was like a dessert beer. But so I've kind of run the gamut on a lot of stuff. I've done experimental beers. I did an English mild. I've done just regular, stuff where I've just had pale 2-row and maybe some crystal and some, some common hops that I threw in there, Cascade or something. And I've done a lot of those, and most of them, 95% of them, come out really delicious. So I'm trying to figure out what am I going to do next. And so what I decided to do was just kind of throw stuff together. In fact, I threw my recipe together in my head for this one, and just headed to the homebrew store. Said I want this, I want this, I want this. And I put it together because I wanted to make something a little bit different. And what it is I wanted to make an OPA. And I don't know if you ever heard of an OPA before, but Oat Pale Ale is the name. And I guess it's something fairly new on the scene. I don't know, but it's a pale ale made with oats and 2-row, of course. So I put one of those together and I said, well, I want a grain bill of 10 pounds. So what I'll do is I'll go with 8 pounds of 2-row. Let me see, I said I throw in a pound of Crystal 20, make it light for summer, and then a pound of oats. And I'll do a 75-minute boil with, and I'll do Amarillo hops at a ½ ounce at 60 and an ounce and a half at 10. That way I'll get some of that, that flavor out of it, and it won't be too bitter. So so that's the one I'm doing now. But so I mean, it was enjoyable. The only problem was, let me take another taste of Harry's English Bitter. I did this one before. There's maybe I'll put a link up where the video is, but this is absolutely gorgeous. And you can have a couple of those, and with the low ABV, it's great. You can have, great conversation with friends or whatever, and have a few. So the thing that happened when I was brewing my OPA was I went to get my phone out of my pocket as I was cooling the wort down. And in fact, this one here, believe it or not, it still works, but that's my daughter making a funny face on there. But believe it or not, it still works. But it went into the I don't know, what would you call that? The cool down. It went into the boiling pot as it was cooling down. And then I did two really stupid things. Number one, I looked, the phone dropped in, I heard it go bloop. I put my arm right into that boiling, it wasn't boiling, it was cooling down. It was at 90 degrees. I don't know what that is Celsius, 300, I don't know. But so I jammed my arm down there. Thank goodness it was only 90 degrees Fahrenheit, and pulled it out, dried it off as quickly as possible. But that was a really dumb thing to do. So if you ever drop anything in your boiling pot, even if you're cooling it down, don't jam your hand down. I could have scalded myself badly, but thank goodness it was almost finished cooling. And also the second dumb thing I did was I could have very well infected the beer. I just checked; it's been a week after the process of the yeast and everything has done its thing. So I took a gravity reading, which is doing really well, and it smelled really good. So hopefully it's not infected. But anyway, so that was my little adventure with my OPA. So that's what's coming up next. But anyway, so the phone's still doing well. Every once in a while, it'll adjust its own volume, and it's one of my little ones back there singing. Every once in a while, it'll adjust its volume all on its own, and it'll start vibrating, and then it'll stop. But other than that, was okay. I put it in rice. I did the rice thing. I actually dried it off with a towel as much as I could, and then I wiped it down with like a damp sponge because it was wort. It was all over. It was sticky. And then for the night, I put it in. Actually, I did the oven thing too. I put it in the oven for a little while. I just put it on warm and turned it off and put it in there for about an hour. And then at night, I put the phone in rice, and it seems like it's doing okay. But anyway, so just a little bit of an update, and I'll keep you abreast of the brew day. A happy Homebrew Wednesday, everybody. Keep brewing great beer. Cheers.